Hello, today we're going to look at confirming the pregnancy in China.
So once your home pregnancy test is positive, it's time to make an appointment to an actual hospital.
Yeah, we went to the Hong Kong University Shenzhen Hospital, which is located in Shenzhen in the Nanshan OCT area.
Yeah, it's easily accessible by transit or by subway. So we just went online to make an appointment, and we made an appointment in the early pregnancy detection department.
Yeah, we actually have a previous video that we made about how to register and make appointments at this hospital. It's very easy, and a lot of the staff there speak English already, so you don't really have to worry.
And we also filmed our whole process there, so let's take a look. So I just had my first ultrasound, and we are at the Hong Kong University Hospital in Shenzhen. At the beginning, Neil and I both went into the room, but unfortunately husbands are not allowed in the room, so he was kicked out when I was there. So it was just me and the doctor. She told me that I had to take off my bottoms, so take off my pants and my panties, and then lay on this medical bed. And told me to raise my legs up and keep it open, and I can see her hand. She has like a wand-like thing, and she's put some kind of protective thing on it and some gel, and she's warned me like it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, it won't hurt. So, and it doesn't really hurt, it's just strange feeling having someone insert something up your vagina. So anyways, she starts to insert this thing in me, and one hand on the wand and one hand on her keyboard and looking at the monitor. I can hear her tapping some keys, taking pictures and whatnot. And then a couple of minutes later, she tells me, it's like, the baby is good, it's about 8 weeks. And I was like, oh really? So I turned and I looked, and she moved the monitor towards me so that I can see it. And it's you can see the ultrasound, the picture, and the baby looks like a little bean that looks like this. And like the head and the butt, and there's like a little thing in the middle. She pointed at it and said that's the heart, and it's beating. You can see it blinking, it blinks really fast. And then she showed me how she measures from the head to the bottom, and it's like it's about 8 weeks. So your baby is about 8 weeks, and everything's okay. She's like, yeah, it looks great. And what happens is in half an hour I would get the printout of the picture, and I would take it to the OB, like the other doctor. I did a urine test, ECG, and also a NT scan for our baby. I also had a chat with the doctor, give more our information, how old we are, where are we from, where do we live, what job we did, are we married, do we smoke, and stuff like that. And we filled out a booklet. And I'm supposed to have done a blood test today, but unfortunately I was really hungry and I ate something, so we can't do it today. We'll have to come in again tomorrow morning to do a blood test. But everything was fine. I didn't know too much Chinese. I know a little bit, but everyone was really nice. They kind of took me around and told me what I need to do, and they were speaking really fast. They repeated themselves so that I could understand what they were saying. Yeah, so it was great. It was fine. If it's your first visit with a doctor, you should have this kind of information prepared, such as your weight, your BMI, your height, like occupation, your address in Chinese in Shenzhen, as well as what's your passport number, also your spouse's passport number. If you don't remember them, just kind of take pictures of it or even bring it with you. So because those are kind of information that they need to have in order to get a better picture of you. Because you have to do it on an empty stomach. I accidentally ate something yesterday, so I was really hungry. So I had a bunch of blood tests. They took about 4 vials of blood, and there was 8 tests. Each one has different times when the results will come back. The longest one being 3 days. And she said if you don't have time to pick up all of them, they'll just get sent directly to the doctor. So after 3 days, you can just come in and see the doctor about the results. Today is week 16th in our pregnancy. We're going to go to the hospital today for a checkup. Today there's going to be probably a blood pressure test, a urine test, and possibly a blood test. And it's also to do a quick check to see that the baby is doing well as I am doing well, whether there have been any weird symptoms such as vaginal bleeding and whatnot. We will also get our results from our week 12 test back today. Possibly we'll be scheduling the next scan, the ultrascan for the anatomy scan, which is between 18 and 20 weeks.
You ready? Tests are done. It took about an hour to finish it. Everything is fine.
pressure. Yeah, and although it's very busy here on weekends, especially today because the two doctors are away on a business trip, so you kind of have to push your way in to see the doctor. So we're prepared for that. We're gonna get a 4D ultrasound today. Exciting. It's like covering its face. Shy. Oh, how does his feet go up so high? So today's appointment here at the hospital is the 4D ultrasound. This is when we get to have a picture of our baby's face in 4D. This is also the anatomy scan where they will measure all the limbs and the organs to make sure everything is growing properly. Normally in the West, this is when you find out whether you're having a girl or a boy. But in China, we can't tell you that officially. But we have a foreign fairy godmother, so we found out that today we're having a girl. Today I am at 27 weeks pregnant, and we're coming in today to do a test. I haven't eaten or drank anything since last night at 10 o'clock. I'm really hungry, really thirsty. So let's get this test started. I'm drinking the sugar water now, and after drinking this, I gotta wait an hour and come back to do another blood test, and they're going to check my glucose level. Cheers! Oh, it's so sweet. Ew.
Honey, you still got some more in your pot.
No, I don't. So I just drank 2 cups of sugar water, and it was very sweet and very disgusting. It's the first liquid I've drank all day today. So in an hour I have to come back and do a blood test, and after that another hour I have to come back and do another blood test. So that's 2 blood tests in 2 hours. Ugh. And I can't eat or drink anything in these times. It's a struggle. Alright, so today is my 30-week test. This is the first day of my 30-week. We had the normal test, the urine test, the blood test, the blood pressure test, the weight, and measuring the belly and the growth. We also had a fetal blood cord test where they measure the fetal cord to see that it's okay. You get taken into this room and they use something like an ultrasound to measure it. But they told me that the results were all fine and normal, so that's good. Another thing that I did today is also get my results back from the blood sugar test we had last time. And all three of my hourly tests was too high for my blood sugar level, so I have to watch my sugar intake. They didn't exactly say gestational diabetes, but we're gonna assume that's what I have because if my blood sugar is that high, it makes sense. So we're gonna err on the cautious side, and we're gonna watch my diet for the next couple of weeks, for the rest of the pregnancy basically, and try to find a diet that works best for that kind of problem. But they did measure my blood sugar level today again with the blood test, and again it was too high. So the doctor has said that watch what I eat the next 2 weeks and come back, and they're going to do another blood test to measure my glucose. So starting 30 week, every 2 weeks now, I will be coming back to the hospital for these checkups, the regular checkups and for any other things. But basically the doctor said other than my glucose level, everything seems fine and normal. So she said more exercise, less sugar. Alright.
面包不能吃多了啊！没事，等一下对照对照。对，口在上面，你的头
So today is December 3rd and I'm coming to do another checkup at the hospital. I am 32 weeks today. I did the usual tests, measuring your weight, your blood pressure. We also had a urine test. Because my glucose level was too high last time, I also had to do an extra blood test today. And the results aren't available until 5, so the doctor said they'll send me a message about it later. I also had to do an ultrasound today. The ultrasound is to check the position of the baby and to make sure everything is okay. And it's good that the baby's head is on the bottom, so it's not breaching, so that's really good. But from now on, it's every 2 weeks I have to come in and do a checkup. And after the 36th week, I will be doing every week. Today is 34 weeks. And this tells me what I will be doing. It's all in Chinese, so I have to translate it, and I forgot to translate it. But it looks like blood test, urine test. I'm gonna have to do my glucose test as well. And measurements and stuff. I think it's a normal one. Let's look at the price. This week is only $190, so I'm sure they're not gonna do a lot of stuff.
So many pregnant ladies.
So I'm hooked up. They're measuring her heartbeat as well. And anytime she moves, I'm gonna click on this thing. Usually I look at my tummy when she moves. There's all these things covering.
This helps.
Could you go?
Do you have like any secret codes that you use with the baby to command to kick?
I usually just push her.
You just push her?
Push her around.
Do you know do you have like any wizarding words like Patronus?
I wish I did. I should have one now.
Dracarys.
Oh, that worked.
Hey! You try it.
Dracarys. No, I think it has to be your voice.
Dracarys.
Oh. That was movement.
Oh, we're onto something. I'll try again. Dracarys.
She's not.
Nice flute. Nice flute.
But it happened twice. 2 out of 3 times is not a fluke.
Yeah?
Can't be.
As Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Alright, so today we're at the hospital again, and I am 34 weeks pregnant. We had the normal exams, the blood pressure, the weight, the measuring of the uterus, and the diameter of your tummy. We also did a urine test, and because my glucose level was really high before, they also measured that. And I also had to do some baby kicks, and they were measuring the baby's heart rate and how much it moved in 20 minutes. The one thing that stood out today is that my glucose level still continues to be too high, so I'm almost borderline having GD. So they sent me to a different doctor, and I had a consultation about my diet. She asked me what I normally eat, and I made suggestions on what I can eat, and as well as suggestions on doing exercises after eating. So I had to increase my exercise, as well as really control what I eat. She always says, just don't be hungry, have some snacks, but she makes suggestions on what kind of food I can eat, so that's really good. I also need to get one of those monitors to check my blood to see where my glucose level is, and you can purchase those at any of the pharmacies. Bigger ones would be better because they'll have those monitors. The smaller ones might not have it. She wrote the name of it in Chinese for me, so we can go pick it up. I'm going to be doing this for a week. Check my blood 4 times a day for 2 days a week, and after that week I'm coming back here to let them know what the result is, and hopefully I manage to control it and keep it lower. And if that's good, then I won't have to continue with the next step of actually having GD, which are the insulin shots. So good luck.
Very good. Oh my god, she's got a baby.
Do what I say, or I'll give birth. So that's all my tests for today, and this is week 36. After this week, I'm coming back every week. We found a really ideal time to come in. After 10 o'clock, it's pretty quiet. There's not many lineups and not a lot of waiting, so we'll be coming in at 10 every time for the next 4 weeks, as long as she stays in for a full term of 40 weeks. And also, today we got a really nice surprise. When I was about 27 weeks pregnant, we did the fashion show here at the hospital, and they had a framed picture for us. So yeah, this will go into Autumn's room as well. Hello. You're gonna have to listen to me every command, or I'm gonna press this button and the baby comes out now. So today we are here, I'm 37 weeks pregnant, and now I'm doing every week, every Sunday we'll be back. So 38 and 39, and if I'm still pregnant after 40 weeks, I guess we continue. Anyhow, today was a big test. I had to come in empty stomach. There was a lot of blood tests, which I won't be getting back until a couple of days, which doctor will get. I also checked my glucose level, and today was fine. So I was able to control my glucose. But the only problem now is that they did an ultrasound to check the baby size and stuff, and they say the baby is too small, so I need to eat more so that the baby can get a bit bigger. They also checked the position of the baby. The baby is head down, so that's good. They also checked where the umbilical cord is. Right now it's currently kind of around its shoulders, which is okay for now, but hopefully it'll move. But the important thing was to eat more. So I've got to eat more and gain a bit more weight. I lost a little bit of weight this week. It's been a bit hard because controlling the glucose means there's a lot of restrictions of what I can and cannot eat, and the food I eat are a bit more plain nowadays, so I'm not very hungry, or I don't really feel like eating it. But I need to eat more and drink lots of milk. So again, continuing, we are also monitoring the fetal movements of the baby, heartbeat, and their movements. So I'll be doing this every week that I come back as well. Yeah, so we'll be back again next week.
So we have two things stuck on me. They're both wireless, and it's got numbers on it. This one on the bottom here, it measures the fetal heart rate. The one on top is supposed to measure any contractions that I might be experiencing.
So today is my 38-week checkup. It's a normal checkup with measuring the uterus, the length, the size of it, checking the baby that it's fully head down, as well as doing blood pressure and weight. Those are just normal things. Also urine test to check that everything's okay. Because they're monitoring my glucose level, I also had to do a glucose test, so they had to extract some blood. We also are doing that fetal heart rate monitoring, so they about 20 minutes where you lie down and they have a monitor attached to you. It's kind of like strapping bombs to your belly, but they monitor that as well as any movements and contractions that you may be experiencing. And also because at 38 weeks, it's 2 more weeks until due date, and they start to advise you on what you need to do when you start to see labor signs of contractions, regular contractions. They say come in and see the doctor. If your water breaks, immediately come in and see the doctor. If you feel any uncomfortableness, like if you see any blood in your urine, if any of that, also come and see the doctor. During the daytime, you can go directly to the doctor, but at nighttime there's a different building behind this one, and we will have to go there and find a doctor that's on call there. So yeah, so 38 weeks. Due date is coming up really, really soon. 39 weeks appointment is similar to this, but we'll see next week. See ya.
You're ruining the readings, Fanny. You've already gone up to 50. He's got to 50.
Oh no!
So today we're at the hospital again. I'm on week 39. Coming here to do the normal tests, the urine test, the weight, blood pressure, uterus size, and everything, and listening to the heartbeat of the baby. Also did a ultrasound to check the baby's weight and position, and everything is normal. The baby is about 6 pounds right now, and so that's really good. Also had to do the fetal heartbeat monitoring. That takes about 20 minutes. Those are all normal things that we do. Today, because of my glucose level, which has been a problem, I had to do an extra glucose test. The thing with the glucose test is that they had said if it was still too high, because last week was really high, I would have to be admitted today. After the results, it was slightly high, but not too high, so they're giving me another week. So next week, on my week 40, I will be admitted to the hospital, and we'll see how the rest of this week goes. And yeah, when I get admitted to the hospital, there's more. If the baby's not ready to come out, there's a good chance I'll be induced.
Hi, this is week 40, so this is probably going to be the last fetal heart monitoring, and probably I'm going to get admitted to the hospital today, and they want to monitor me and wait for the delivery. Exciting! I think I'm ready. I think it's been 9 months. We've made the 40 weeks. I think I'm ready for the baby to come out. Let's hope she's ready to come out. So I've been induced, and just to make sure the baby comes out on time. It's at level 3 now. The highest level it's gonna go is 4. And they're hoping that the contractions will come in at 3 to 4 minutes apart, lasting 30 to 40 seconds. And not there yet.
The spikes are when the contractions are.
Oh, we've been here for almost an hour and a half. I've been on this drug, so the contractions are coming, but they're not strong enough yet. Keep waiting.
How's it going?
So we've been here for 2.5 hours now. Slow progression, still feeling the cramps and the contractions, but they're not quite painful enough yet. So they're still waiting. Just waiting for autumn.
Losing a child is horrendous. It's worse than anything that you can imagine. Luckily, we have lots of people that care for us and love us and support us. However, a difficult aspect is with loved ones is they often want to know what happened, and when we explain what happened, it is often like we are reliving that time, which, as you can imagine, is hard. So what we thought would be a good idea would be to record a video explaining what happened. So this is what we're doing. As you're probably aware, if you know us or you've been following us with our previous prenatal check videos, that towards the end of Fanny's pregnancy, she started to experience high blood glucose, blood sugar levels, not to the point of gestational diabetes, but just high enough that we changed her diet, and we monitored it closely with the doctors. One of the risks of having high blood sugar is that the baby can grow too large. So at week 40, we had all checks previously, and on week 40 we had an additional check to see the size of the baby and how Fanny's doing. Everything came back fine. The baby was a good weight, but it was decided that if we kept this going on, the baby might grow too big. So it was decided on week 40 that we would be induced. Now, we thought an induction would be best because it was the most natural option, and that's why we chose the hospital that we went with, as it'd be less trauma for Fanny and for the baby. So Fanny was induced, and that involved her being given a bunch of chemicals through an IV that would start labour, induce labour, and it took about 2 to 3 hours for all those chemicals to work and to be fully integrated into her system, and then she started to labour, and after that it was a case of waiting for Fanny to fully dilate in order to be able to give birth. During this time, the contractions were getting stronger and it became more painful for Fanny. So she got an epidural. However, you've got to be careful with epidurals because they can often reduce the strength of the contractions. Now, it took a long time for Fanny to fully dilate, and during that time it's very difficult for her to eat and rest, so it was a good maybe 20 hours before she was ready to give birth, and by that time she was already very tired. She'd already been pushing a little bit, and she was pretty exhausted by the time it came around. However, during all that long time of labour, the baby was constantly monitored, and she was doing fine, and Fanny was monitored as well. The blood sugar was monitored. However, suddenly, as Fanny was giving birth and the baby was crowning, there was sudden distress with the baby, and the readings fluctuated drastically, and it was obvious that the baby was in distress and it became an emergency situation. So what they did is they cut Fanny in order to get the baby's head fully out, and they pushed down on her uterus and they pulled the baby. However, when the baby came out, you could see that she'd swallowed some fluids, so they tried to drain her lungs and resuscitate her, because she had a heartbeat still, but she just wasn't able to breathe. And they tried for an hour, but she died. After that, we were able to hold her and say our goodbyes. Fanny was exhausted, and it left her blood sugar very high, dangerously high, and they were very worried about her for a while. But she got a lot of rest, and she was basically just completely exhausted from what happened, and she had quite a lot of tears, and she had to cut as well. And she's going to recover. It's just going to take a while because her immune system went so low because of her exhaustion and because of that and the combination of high blood sugar. Now it's progressing and it's looking like her blood sugar is going to be under control, and her white blood cell count went up, and she's slowly recovering, and eventually we will be able to have children again, and that's what happened. On January 30th, 2018, at 7 AM, our daughter, Autumn Elizabeth Travis, was born. However, due to sudden complications, she died during birth. We take solace in the fact that she will never suffer, and she spent the majority of her life in the loving warmth of her mother. Although we are heartbroken that we don't get to see our baby girl grow up, we remember the time that we had with her. We remember how she danced in her mother as we played our favourite songs. We remember how she reacted to my voice as I read her Dr. Seuss books. We will remember her curly brown hair and how she felt when we held her, and how she looked just like her mother, and how she was perfect in every single way. She changed our lives for the better and brought us closer together than we have ever been before. We are so grateful to call her our daughter. We will miss her, and she will remain in our hearts forever. We love you, Autumn Elizabeth Travis.